Welcome back to Soulstone Survivors, and today I have something a little bit different. You may notice I'm calm because it's 4 AM right now, so I have to be a bit more quiet. But I just had a run that kinda has me dumbfounded now. I was just unlocking the skills for this dude. At this point he was prestige level 21. And I saw, oh right, there was curse 7, I have to do that, so let's just do it. We have the chaos weapons. You see the skills at the bottom. We have the one where you get hit, you are less likely to get knocked back or taken down. We have the one where a chain of multicast is more likely. Then the generalist that gives you more damage the more different types of weapons you have. The one where you start with an additional weapon, and then the one where chaos weapons, or in general weapons that have a range, roll twice. And then they take the higher value. So here we have a great start. We have already area, I think it was, on chaos weapons, as well as the chaos bomb. If you end up liking the video, then please consider subscribing and giving the video a like, because it helps me out more than you could imagine. Now the chaos bomb is how I plan to deal the most damage. The rest is for me rather clear for enemies that are close by. So what I mean by that is I run away, the enemies follow me, the chaos bomb hits them, that is my main damage. And the rest is rather for the running away that I can clear them. Now as we can see here, the way chaos works is quite simple. It hits the target and then it applies a random effect, and quite a lot of it actually. So you get a lot of effect stacking, and one thing that I did consider was the rune that gives you the odds that you make a chain, you know, of effects. Maybe that would have been good, but I thought, well, it costs 5, I don't know, and I rather wanted to see how does chaos really work, and what changed with it and stuff like this, so yeah, this is the build. Right now we have the 2 projectiles in the beginning. Those are just the starting ones if you start with an additional weapon. Then, as I said, the Chaos Bomb, Bloodlust, and here I take Arcane Power. I usually like taking it early on, just to have the additional multicast and kill enemies a lot faster, and then I tend to replace it later on, because I don't know, it's not that efficient anymore if you already have a lot of multicast. I guess you could also avoid going for multicast if you already have it, but I like it more to take it and then replace it later on. Not claiming that it's good, but I like it. The Chaos Totem is one that I just unlocked, and my thought process was, if I run away from the enemies, and the Chaos Bomb is good for that in my mind, you know, to hit them, then the Chaos Totem must be amazing, since it gets put down, the enemies run after me, and it applies the damage to them as well as all the effects, right? So, well, whether the theory is true or not, we'll see, but that was at least the reason why I decided for it. There is one more chaos weapon that I want to have. The hand that comes out of the ground and grapples the enemies, deals a ton of damage. All in all, a decent skill. I'm not all too much of a fan of the chaos weapons, like I gotta be honest, I would probably just go for the bomb and the totem and then go for completely different skills, because they are already more than enough and you can spam them like crazy to stack up the effects. Especially the chain lightning doesn't feel all too good. And the one where you throw the balls out, it's definitely a very solid skill, and you'll see it's what I use mainly to clear the enemies. The nice part is you throw it out, it comes back again, so you can double strike enemies, especially in front of you. It's very helpful, but you can also just run away from it, and then it flies after you, hitting more enemies. But the thing is, if I could have something else that maybe had more range, like let's even say something like the Void or so, that may be better, but I'm not all too sure. In the end, it worked perfectly fine, so I'm not complaining, I'm just thinking of what would I maybe change. So what you'll see here is I'm mostly taking anything that has to do with multicast. I'm also taking things like, I don't know, Agile is especially one, yes. So Agile is very important for me to outrun the enemies casting their skills. It's very difficult, this character is slow as you can see, and I only have 2 dashes, so I need a way of getting away. And one would be Swift, that gives you additional dashes, that would be great, but you can't rely on it, it's rather rare. So whenever I see a green or a blue Agile, I will take it just so I can run away from the enemies. We have seen the Chaos Golem there, by the way, a second ago, and I was using him the last run. I'm all in all a big fan of him because he distracts the enemies, but one thing that also happens with him is, right now I can pretty much prepare where the enemies will strike because they attack me, but for the Chaos Golem they will target him, and then sometimes something will fly towards the Chaos Golem, pass him, and then hit me. And by the way, did you see how the guy just blew up, the boss there? Yeah, that was some serious damage. So at this point, after seeing how the boss just blew up, I was a little bit confused what exactly happened there. I mean, it does make sense if you're closer to them, then all the weapons that you have, especially the ball one, will hit him continuously, and the more effects that you apply, the more severe these stack up and will just deal a bogus amount of damage. But this also means you have to play this kind of in and out strategy until you get enough area, or you just ignore the bosses. That is obviously an alternative. And I decided to go for a lot of movement speed, as I said, that I can go in, but I will focus heavily on any kind of area that I can get my hands on, unless there's something that is like way better in there, like a common area and you have a purple something else. But yeah, area just meant to have a longer distance towards the enemies, and then I can just circle them and fire at them. Now, to be fair, I'm not all too used to Chaos weapons. I played them a very long time ago, before this update. They used to be a little bit different and by far not this strong. It looks like I just sounded different, and I may still sound a little bit different. For whatever reason, my audio settings, they changed, and I don't know what happened there. Like, they were just gone, so I tried to reconfigure them now. But back to the game, I hope it's not too much different, sorry for that. Yeah, back to the game. All in all, if you're close to the bosses, they get nuked. But same problem, of course, the other way around. The bosses also nuke you. So you have to be very careful what you do. And yeah, for the rest of it, I just have to look that I get a lot of fragility. I want to have a ton of totems around. The totems have a very inflated damage number, I believe, towards the end. Like, everything that can continuously hit the enemies obviously has a very high damage number, but that doesn't always mean that it's by far the strongest weapon that you could have. Like, if you can focus a weapon into a boss and nuke him, then it will have way less damage compared to other weapons. A single target weapon, for example, has way less damage, but it has a way higher damage output, and it really depends on what you value the most. The totem, though, I gotta be honest, I think it's amazing. The balls, quite decent. The chain lightning, as I said, not the biggest fan there. I think this is the first one I would replace. And the bombs are very solid just to easily hit the enemies while you're running away. It's a nice AoE clear as well. We can also see by the kill counter that we are killing the enemies rather quickly on the highest curse level. That actually means quite a lot. This early at least, you know. When you get later into the game, then there are two scenarios that can happen. Number one, it takes you years to kill the enemies because you didn't get the right upgrades, or the type of weapons that you chose, they're just not that great later on, but they compensate for that by having early good clears, so the enemies, the bosses spawn faster, and then they are weaker since the more time progresses in this game, the stronger they become. In our case, I'm not all too sure, because we actually seem to have a very solid clear. Now, there are three ways how you can currently burst in this game, or through the game, on the higher curse levels that I know of. Number one is all kinds of lightning. Number two is Shadow, and Shadow is in my books the strongest one, with Curse, with Doom, and yeah, that's pretty much it, because it just nukes enemies. But the Chaos here, it's ridiculously fast. Like, this was my second game with it, and I didn't even unlock everything on this character. In fact, I didn't even check it out yet, so I don't know how good or how bad the additional Chaos weapons are that you get, or whatever he unlocks. But if you would focus on this, and if you would optimize this, you could probably get insane runs. And for me, that is right now a contender for the number one spot. And I don't mean it's like behind number one, but for me it's like a shaded out number one, easily rivaling Shadow. But I have to see how I can optimize both of them just to understand properly how reliable are they, what is like the one that has more potential. One thing that I really like about Shadow is it is incredibly reliable. Like, there is little that you can really do wrong. Okay, I should stop saying Shadow because there are also summonings. I'm talking about Doom and Curse. Like, it's incredibly reliable because not a lot can go wrong. And of course there's RNG in this game, where it may happen that you get super bad upgrades, and that's a thing. And this is also where the reliability kicks in, that even if you get bad upgrades, it still performs okay or good, like that you can still win. For Chaos, I'm not all too sure about that. I think it heavily relies on getting enough multicast and attack speed, but you will actually see I didn't get the best upgrade, in my books at least, that you can get in this game, which is the wound, where if you crit, then for the next 6 seconds you have a 50% chance to double apply effects. And do you see the line of effects up there? Imagine they were doubled. You will pretty much see me run around for a majority of the time and just hoping that the bosses follow me, you know, they take damage, they die over time. I'm not too much focusing on them. and I don't like doing that since I view it as a risk, as in the closer I am to them, the more likely it is that they kill me. Oh, that is actually a new skill here, Chaos Wave. I quickly read through it and decided that I don't want to have something like combustion that's just around you or bursts around you. I guess rather like flame wave, right? Yeah, I don't think that would be good in this case since I want to just run away. Later on, I will go in for the kamikaze attack and try to take down the bosses ASAP, that they don't get to nuke me. There are two mindsets in my head that constantly fight with each other. Number one is, kill the bosses ASAP so they can't put down the annoying stuff on the floor where you keep taking damage or random hits kill you. And the other one is, stay away from the bosses so they cannot hit you with the one-shot abilities. And you know, it's constantly this fight going on. Here we have area of effect for physical weapons. It only affects the bomb and the bloodlust, but I decided to go for it because in the end, the bomb is the main way how I can target enemies from further away while running away. Maybe this mindset is also wrong and I should focus more on other things because the bosses are not really following me, right? But at least it hits the common enemies, and the more I hit of them, the less trouble I have there. And it's about time that I turn down the graphics because I can barely see anything anymore. I was also considering to turn down the graphics because my game started lagging enough that I couldn't dash reliably anymore, as in sometimes when I walked around it would just... it's hard to aim towards where I want to dash, and if you're in for that, later on we go into endless mode and this is where the real lag begins. Like, that was insane. I have no idea how I survived this long. So at this point we reach 50% of the game, as in we kill 10 bosses out of 20, and have you seen how quickly this dude just died? He just lost, I think, 1.6 million HP while dashing next to him. Like, we didn't do anything all too exciting. I was dashing around the bosses just to thin them out and make sure that the next ones that spawn in 100 kills, that, you know, I don't have to fight 6 bosses, that is a little bit too much. But even this one here, eventually before the next wave spawns, I think, I go in and kill him. Oh no, wait, I think it went wrong. Like, I wanted to go in here and then I just decided to, you know, let him do whatever he wants to do. He is not a big threat, the poison is annoying, but the trickle damage that you take is usually not that much. Let's actually see. No, the enemies are blocking me way too much, yeah. I can't really get in there. And now we have the next 4 enemies spawning. Is any one of there crucial? No, these should all be relatively easy to deal with. Even 2 Eternal Guardians spawned, the same ones. Okay. So, wow. Okay, he's actually dropped. Oh my god, do you see the HP drops there? I didn't notice this in the game because I had to focus on where I'm walking and I'm about to die either way. There should be a heal somewhere. Yeah, I just picked up the heal, nice. But oh my god, now seeing the damage and being able to focus on what's going on the moment I could get close to enemies is quite ridiculous. Like, they just get nuked for 1 to 2 million HP in a few seconds if you can be next to them. Which is easier said than done, because they also nuke me. But at least we have the happy feature. Just keep running around, just keep dashing around, avoid getting hit. And wait, one died? Second one died? What is happening here? This is actually, wow, this is quite entertaining to watch, I gotta say. Wait, I expected this would just be, like normal damage. It tends to take longer, like I knew it was faster, but this is ridiculous. The moment I'm close to them, they just die. I'm kinda excited right now to see the final wave, because I do remember that I tried to kill them a little bit quicker, that nothing goes wrong. The way I view it, I didn't plan to go for endless mode. I just wanted to finish this, that I get the achievement, which apparently doesn't exist, or maybe I missed it. But yeah, I just wanted to get this done with, that I have the Curse 7 finished. And now the final boss is about to die, out of the bracket at least. There are 4 more to come. I'm really excited to see that right now. It's like, I'm just looking forward. And we only have to kill 200 more enemies. And that was it then. This is Curse 7, and that is the last curse level. The endless mode was definitely incredibly spicy. I think I will talk about that a little bit. The main issue was the lag, and I couldn't play with it. Like, it was impossible to dash. But an additional issue was that the walls are really hard to see on that map. At least for me, when I, you know, just quickly look around where the projectiles, what is about to hit me. You dash around, and then I constantly dashed right into the walls. Like, just into an edge or so of it, but sometimes straight up into a wall. We just reached 2.5k kills, it's quickly going up, and that means we are about to face the final bosses. I really hope I went in to just quickly kill them and not circle them for ages. But we'll see it here. In my head it was a quick kill, but maybe it wasn't and I was just happy to be done with. You know how you sometimes do something and it feels like it lasted for ages, but it was just 3 seconds. Yeah, that's what she said. Okay, it's playtime. There we go. Who do we have? We have the Fallen King, that is perfect, he follows me. The Fire, not so great, Black Bear, oh, and another Fire. Okay, that is sad. At least one of them is following me. So I'm trying to circle them, that most of the AoEs hit them, especially the totems. I don't like walking out too far, and instead luring them through the totems, and it reapplies. Wait, did just 2 of them die? I missed it! Okay, I'm gonna rewatch that in a moment. But that was so incredibly fast. And that is not a time where I could actually just chill, because with 2 bosses left, there's no real reason to rush anymore and maybe get nuked. Well, that was what is going on. Okay. This is, yeah, that is insane. So I just cut forward to the end of the Endless run. It will still last a little bit, but not that long. And I just scanned over the skills that I have in the bottom left. And if I'm not mistaken, I still don't have the wound one that doubles the effect. So imagine I would have gotten that here. How quickly they would have died. But this is where absolute chaos happens. Just another spawn of enemies. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 bosses are currently around. And I also only have 2 stacks of fragility, so 6% per whenever it gets applied. Usually I have around 10 to 15 at this point, so that was also quite unlucky to not get that, but I hope it just got compensated with something amazing. Maybe, who knows. Level 92 is also very solid for this point, you know, we are only on Endless 1. I think at least it's solid. Yeah. And this was a point where I started to kind of give up mentally. I lost both of the revivals, I'm lagging like crazy, and I was kind of just ready to see how far can I get without trying all too much, because I assumed that the further I go, the more insane it becomes. This was here just a very stupid option, decision, okay? There's no excuse for that. I shouldn't have went up there, I don't know why I did it. I kinda hoped that I could just burst the bosses. Are these the last ones? No, they're not even the last ones. There will be more, like there's a spawn after this. So yeah, there's no excuse for that. And well, do you see, like, I constantly get stuck on these walls. It's a little bit difficult for me, as I said, it's really hard for me to see where the walls are at times, because do you see how they have a shadow? And this kind of looks like the wall already, and then I just bump into them. The downwards movement is just me not being all too familiar with the wall, and there's, yeah, okay, that's, how did I survive that? I shouldn't have survived that, that was undeserved, okay, never mind. How do I actually die? It should happen any moment, because I, okay. That was so stupid to die like that. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like. See you the next time.